women would seem to have little power in this religion. But what is power in religion? Leadership seems important, but many religions, and certainly ours, have stressed the humble vineyard worker as the powerful position. The greatest of all is the servant of all. A New York Times magazine illustrated this apparent paradox in an issue highlighting Doba Levin, the wife of a Lubavitcher rabbi and the mother of 14 children. A reader objected to featuring her as a religious exemplar because she was subordinate to her husband, she had no independent status, and she lived a pre-modern life. Her activities, the writer said, were clearly circumscribed. But another correspondent concluded the opposite, noting that as the mother and guide of many, Levin was, in terms of moral independence, powerful indeed. The question of where power lies is significant for Mormon women who wield uncelebrated influence. Is it therefore insignificant or diminished? Should women, apparently not important in modern terms, sue for influence? Should they deny their ambitions? Can women deal with this puzzle? A chronological consideration of the post-World War II years reads that Mormons led the return to American domesticity in suburbia. But as the nation moved toward a liberal counterculture in the 60s, threatening traditional roles, the church perpetuated their conservative ideal. The church correlated autonomous women's leadership roles under the priesthood. Mormon women who follow but lag behind national trends faced a divided culture. In the 50s, they had been the ideal American women. By the 70s, some felt left behind. Many women relished their roles in the traditional church, while a vocal progressive minority felt ostracized, lamenting the disparity between the LDS female past and present. This minority, hoping to expand the sphere of Mormon women beyond the home, looked to the church's past for models. As many know, Mormon women got the franchise in 1870, long before United States women voted. Women's advocates Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton visited Utah, rallying Mormon women around them. Utah women voted from 1870 until 1887, when legislation disfranchised all church members and all females. But Mormons have used this short progressive experiment as evidence of male liberality toward women. 19th century male leaders encouraged Mormon women to get education, and Utah had a high percentage of early female doctors. Mormon women worked outside the home, encouraged by Brigham Young, who said, "We believe that women are useful, not only to sweep houses, wash dishes, make beds, and raise babies, but they should stand behind the counter, study law or physic," by which he means medicine, "or become good bookkeepers and be able to do the business in any counting house, and all this to enlarge their sphere of usefulness for the benefit of society at large. In following these things, they but answer the design of their creation." LDS women expected this traditional reliance on women's talents to continue and were disappointed when male leaders in the 70s and 80s suggested a contracted role. Today, most women are likely so busy with their families and congregational duties that they do not think about their limited access to organizational power. They may not notice that their voices are absent at the highest levels, but the institutional changes in the church have increased priesthood powers and decreased all female responsibilities. Women have lost visibility and are scarcely involved in areas where they had been prominent: leadership training, publishing, policy setting, welfare. Whereas LDS women had once assumed many responsibilities, running women's, children's, and many social and cultural activities, they found themselves by the 1970s without autonomy, just when other American women were pressing for more social influence. There have been some accommodations to the changed role of LDS women in recent years, and these include an annual women's meeting and some female speakers at General Conference. And as you know, those are always good talks. The official stance is that gender roles are separate but equal, and that women's place is in the home. Many women are content in the home, but others have felt patronized by this rhetoric, pointing out that the equation of priesthood with motherhood is asymmetrical, leaving out fatherhood, and is furthermore not scriptural. This gender relationship means that male leaders direct women in their lives, assuming that they know how women think, feel, and should behave. So, is there an LDS female world? Yes, despite all, there are still remnants of the days when women gathered together for prayer meetings, sewing circles, when they saved grain, nursed the sick, put on their bazaars and dance festivals. Female camaraderie and leadership then bloomed. But now that our Cultural and Relief Society programs have been simplified, we have to reach hard for those close relationships. We find them in the auxiliary presidency meetings, sometimes in enrichment mini-classes, in special committees, on social occasions. Visiting teaching is a great help when it works. We all need to work hard on ways of connecting with our sisters. We should work at preserving the female world. If we lose our female LDS world, we will have lost a lot. Issue the next. Should women take their lives seriously? How does the church play into that? Is the self-sacrifice motif for women so strong that no interest and care should be taken about their own lives? We have to doubt that. We come alone into this world, we leave it alone, we are responsible for what we make of our lives. Yet, because if we think of ourselves as spokes in the family wheel, we often tend to ignore our personal, individual destinies. The most unfortunate result of that is that too many women in the church live passive lives. We cannot afford to do that. We have talents to multiply. We must pray for direction and then take risks. We have to launch out into the world. My own observation is that it is not as important to find the right thing to do, which may not exist, as it is to do something. Action must be taken. We are told that we are to get education, and fortunately there's no end to that. But when I was a young woman, there was a feeling that single women should wait quietly for their celestial partners, their CPs, as they were known at the time, that they could be nothing else but wives. In those days, there was also a feeling that older women and mothers with children had no business having special interests outside of home or church work. When the husband of a friend of mine was asked how he could allow his wife, the mother of several small children, to be working toward a master's degree, he replied laconically, "It's cheaper than therapy." In one of his recent talks, actually it's 3 years now, President Hinckley told the church's 12 to 18-year-old girls to study your options, pray to the Lord earnestly for direction, then pursue your course with resolution. The whole gamut of human endeavor is now open to women. You are creatures of divinity, for you are daughters of the Almighty. Limitless is your potential. Magnificent is your future if you will take control of it. He encouraged the girls to find purpose in your life. He described meeting an LDS nurse who was raising 3 children while working. There is such a demand for people with her skills. She can do almost anything she pleases, he said. She is the kind of a woman of whom you might dream as you look to the future. An educated, expert, loyal woman. Times have changed. Older women are encouraged, too, after meeting family responsibilities. Jessica T. Healy Ellsworth, featured in the Church News,